Belle goes off. She done found Belle. Mrs. Potts went off last week. Belle got it this week, y'all. Hey everyone, welcome back to Read.Pray.Disney. Here on this channel, we like to talk all things Disney, from planning to packing to pins to books. So if you want to come on that journey with me, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I'd love to have you. And I think I forgot to tell you, my name is Christina, so welcome. Okay, so today we're going to go through chapters 18, 19, and 20 of 18, 19, and 20 of Rebel Rose. Okay, we'll just, quick summary before we get into what we're at. So remember, Leo is out to the kingdom of Avion, which is Belle and Beast's, or in this case, Leo. It's his kingdom is Avion, and it's a kingdom now because they succeeded from France, and Leo is now king. Belle's refused to become queen. She's not comfortable with that, but since Leo is gone and out touring to go see his noblemen and so forth to find these supposed rumors of revolutionaries, Belle's left back at the castle, and she's on the council to make decisions for the king while he's gone in his place. But on that council is also the king's cousin Bastien. Y'all, he's shady as all heck, and it doesn't stop. It hasn't stopped. So, all right. We also left off, so remember Marguerite. Marguerite, we met quite a few chapters ago, earlier in the book, where Marguerite, she is this beautiful woman who is essentially, she's all things Belle's always wanted to be, right? Belle has always, growing up poor in Avion, she's always wanted to visit other countries and, be her own girl, not have to be tied to anything or so forth. But that's not the path Belle ended up taking, So Marguerite is essentially all things Belle wants to be, but she's also a friend to Belle. So in chapter 18, we open up with Marguerite and Belle in the castle, because remember, Belle brought Marguerite in to help catalog the castle and to help the library and to help Belle plan the salon. So Marguerite's in the castle, and remember I told you, I was like, I don't know about Marguerite. Well, and I wanted to see what Mrs. Potts thinks. Marguerite's getting along famously with everyone in the castle except for Bastien, because Bastien's kind of like all snooty and whatever. But Marguerite, she's eating with the castle members, with Lumiere and Cogsworth and Mrs. Potts, and they're having a great time. Like, they're all eating together. Belle and all of them are eating together without Bastien, without any of the nobles. They're just having a good time, and it's something that Marguerite never thought she'd ever see herself doing. So it's pretty cool. So as they're cataloging and so forth, something that comes to light that we come to find out about Marguerite is Marguerite is kind of, as much as the castle friends enjoy her, I'm still not sure. And I feel like our author's doing this on purpose. I don't know. I don't know if it's me personally mistrusting her, or if the breadcrumbs were there, or am I just reading too much into this? I don't know. But I'm not sure if I still trust her, because something Marguerite asks, she's like, I'm dying to know how you and Beast, or Leo, got together. Like, what's that story? And Belle, she's kind of tiptoes around it. She's like, well, we met, I'm a commoner, he was a prince, but he was going through some things and kind of helped him out, and it was just love. We fell in love. And Marguerite's like, that's it? Like, simple? And Belle's like, yeah, pretty simple, because she doesn't want to tell her about the curse. Remember, she hasn't told anyone about the curse yet. So that little piece is still kind of floating out there. We'll see where that goes. So Marguerite also tells Belle about how because Belle, kind of mentions, I really wish that I could have done what you have done throughout your life and go travel and meet people and all these things. And Marguerite's like, look, honey, it's not that. It's not what you think it is. She goes, all the money that I have, all the traveling that I have, remember Marguerite's mom passed when she was young, but left Marguerite a lot of money. Marguerite's dad was never really in the picture. He was kind of a checked out father. He was there, but not there. And Marguerite's brother is just like, I don't don't even know. Like, she got this brother out there, like, I don't even know. So she's truly been on her own. And she's like, I wouldn't willingly put this, my life, or she wouldn't have willingly chose her life. And I thought that was admirable. All the money, but she doesn't have a home. You know, she doesn't have a family. She doesn't have a, grounding. She doesn't have a connection to anything. And I thought, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. So anyway, all right, we get to learn that. We also get to learn that, let me fast forward here. Okay. So Belle and Marguerite, after that wonderful night of having fun and laughing and talking with everyone, they go to sleep. And the next morning, Belle wakes up and she finds what's his name? Signor Molterelli. You remember? And I think he's the guy. I can't be certain, but I feel like y'all remember back in the cartoon movie where there was the guy that locked up Belle's father. And he was all like gray and dark and whatever. I think that's this guy, but don't quote me on that, but I have a feeling that's this guy. But anyway, he is in the castle because remember all the advisors kind of live in the castle right now. And so he's there and he's walking around, and Belle's like, at first they were just passing each other, and he was gonna be too snooty to say hello or good morning, but Belle's like, no, we ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna play that game. She's like, hey, good morning. And he's like, good morning, madame. I think that's my impression. I don't know. But, so, excuse me. He kind of holds a little grudge. Excuse me. He holds, gosh, this is something. Okay. He holds a little grudge against Belle. Because he evidently had a daughter that was supposed to be paired with Leo from birth, kind of thing. And he's feeling a bit shady about that. And so Belle's like, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, but you know what? Bastien doesn't have anyone. And Bastien is like literally behind the guy. And he's like, no. And Belle's like, yeah, Bastien would be a great catch. He's a duke, and he's this brother or the cousin of the king, and the Signor Monterelli, whatever. He goes, oh, I haven't thought about that. And so it's funny. It's a funny little exchange. And Bastien's like, no, I can find my own love interest. And she's like, really? Because I thought you would really want to be with someone from Avion since you're here for us and all. I like throwing shade, Belle. Okay. So that was 18. It was cute. Just a piece of nugget. So he asks her how the salon is going, and she's like, it's going fine, we're good. And he's like, hey, do you want me to take a look at that guest list for you? I can vet them all and approve. She's like, no, I got the guest list. And he's like, well, don't you trust me? Like, why? What's always? I don't know. Don't you trust me? He's always asking that, but whatever. And she goes, you know what? You may submit guests for approval, but if they aren't bringing expertise or specific knowledge to the salon, they won't be invited. And y'all, his words, and I'm telling you, this is something I think our author does really, really well, because his words are double-sided, right? So he goes, my friends come armed only with good ideas. This may be the teacher in me, and I'm just reading too closely, but we still in this revolution situation up in Paris. And you're going to use the word, my friends come armed with good ideas. Now, remember Bastien? He was a spy for King Louis, but then ran tail when things weren't looking so good. And it's like, now he's back talking Louis, not back talking, but like kind of side talking Louis, talking about how he's a horrible king. And then you can say something like this, like, I don't know who you are yet, Bastien. Like, you shady, bro. Anyway, so chapter 19. Chapter 19 is really, this is interesting. Belle is missing Leo, and you can imagine, she misses her husband. She loves him, right? And he's been writing to her, and he's saying, essentially that the tour is not going so well. He hasn't found out who this rumored person is that's supposed to be, starting a revolution or wanting to start a revolution or whatever. He hasn't found out who it is. The people, the nobles that he's visiting, they aren't very friendly, towards him. They're pushing back even. And Belle, she's all kinds of worried. She can't sleep. She can't, she's, my Leo. And then she's also fearful of his nightmares and wondering if he's still having nightmares. So knowing there's nothing you can do about it, she reaches out, she gets up out of bed, goes down the hall. I'm saying like the hall, like she walking in the castle, goes to the library. By the way, the library is dark. Normally the fireplace is lit and it's all cozy, but I think she mentions that she thinks somebody in the castle's notices that she hasn't been going as often, and so it's not lit. But she finds the mirror. So again, I have a problem with this because when you go to the mirror when it's best for you, but you don't go to the mirror to find out ways to better help the kingdom. You rather suffer with trying to figure out Bastian. Like, why didn't you that first night when Bastian was in the stables and you saw him in the stables, because when you were sneaking out, you saw him sneaking out, why didn't you go get the mirror then? Like, show me Bastian. Like, what's he doing? She hasn't ever since, remember a few chapters back when she was hosting the petitioners, and she found out that Bastian was paying people to come. He had lied to her and he's been paying people to come. Why didn't you use the mirror then? Like you had ample opportunities, but now that you feel Leo might be, a little upset or whatever, and you're afraid of his nightmares, now you go to seek out the mirror. So she seeks out the mirror, and of course it shows her that Leo is sleeping and he's having a nightmare, and there's nothing she can do about it. She can't go through the mirror. And she says that. She comes to that conclusion herself, that she realizes that she can't do anything about this. But eventually his nightmare subsided. So she's watching him sleep like a stalker. Okay. So she's watching him sleep, right? And eventually the nightmare subsides and he falls into a regular sleep pattern and breathing and so forth. And she puts the mirror up, and I don't understand. She only goes to the mirror out of desperation. But to me, it seems like she's going to the mirror out of desperation of the wrong thing. Like, I feel like this story, maybe the author's doing this because she needs to pull the story further. Because I feel like maybe if Belle had just used the mirror to begin with to get some of these answers, like we probably wouldn't even have a story. Like we'd have been done and over. I don't know. Maybe it's a plot point. But I feel like I don't know if I like that plot point. Anyway, so essentially, Belle, she sees what she needs to see, Leo, eventually sleeping, and then she puts the mirror back. But all this whole time, her feelings are, she knows that she shouldn't use the mirror, but she wants to she knows that she shouldn't use the mirror, but she doesn't know why necessarily she feels this way. It's just weird. Chapter 18 is a little weird. Like, that's the only thing that happens, is that she sees Leo in the mirror and then she puts it up and then she goes to bed. Okay. But chapter 20, this is what we've been waiting for, y'all. So maybe seeing Leo gave her a little strength, because y'all, Belle gave it to Bastian. So, all right. So chapter 20, again, next day, right? So next day, or days, whatever. No, it is the next day. She woke up, and from that night, she had this kernel of idea, right? Like the spark of idea. You know how sometimes you wake up and you have this dream and you're like, I don't remember everything, but that was a really good idea. That's what's happening. So Belle has this idea. She's so excited. So she runs to go find Marguerite, because Marguerite's already in the library cataloging stuff and whatnot. And Belle's like, Marguerite! And Marguerite goes, I'm cataloging. Let me finish. And Belle's like, okay, my bad. So the whole exchange was cute. How Belle's like, I'm sorry, let me help you. Marguerite's like, yes, please. So they finished cataloging a section of the library, and so Marguerite's like, okay, so now I'm done. What did you have to tell me? Because you sounded like you had a whole little fire in your belly. And it was so cute. So Belle tells Marguerite, and I have to tell you guys, I misspoke my last video. I told you guys in the last video that Belle, when she told Bastien and the council about the salon that she wanted to host, she said that she wanted to invite commoners. And I had to go back and reread that. She didn't say that. She wanted to invite all these intellectual people, not necessarily commoners. She wants to open the library to commoners, but she didn't want to invite them to the salon because that now is her idea. She wants to invite commoners. So she wants commoners to come. And Marguerite's like, that's a great idea. But you know what? You should probably have them, write out a proposal first. So you don't just have all these random people and then vet their proposals, right? And Belle's like, yes, that's a wonderful idea. So Belle runs out. She finds Cogsworth and Cogsworth. And again, twice in a day, somebody goes, Cogsworth is like working on stuff. He don't even look up, that's the kind of relationship he has, right? So he doesn't even look up. He's like, what do you want? And she goes, I need for you to call a council meeting. He's like, is this an emergency? She's like, yeah, pretty much. She goes, okay, well, I'll go get them off the hunt. She's like, the hunt? Wait, whoa. Why they hunting? He says, well, the Duke Bastien wanted to hunt. And Belle's like, hold on. They must not know that Leo feels the same way about hunting as he does about roses. I don't know what we're going to do with that information. And it's weird because it's odd, right? Because Bastien, he wants to go hunt. So he had all the noblemen out there hunting. And it's weird because then Cogsworth's like, okay, I'll call him up. And he does. They all come back and they come back from this hunt, but Bastien isn't with them. And she's like, well, how do you lose? The guys are like, yeah, well, we lost him. She's like, how do you lose somebody on the hunt? Like, isn't that the point, to stay together? He's like, what do women know about this? And she's like, I'm gonna hold my tongue. But Bastien comes bursting into the room, like, oh my gosh, I have news. Can I interrupt you? And Belle's like, any other time she'd be like, no, but she's like, it's news from Paris. So all he tells her is the news that he got. Now, and mind you, he comes like completely disheveled. So it's weird. Like, I feel like the hunt was a ruse. He was doing something else. But anyway, so essentially the people of Paris don't trust King Louis. And rumors are spreading that he's going to use force against the National Assembly or flee Versailles altogether. Like, essentially that's all that's happening. There's some name drops, but quite frankly, like Maximilian Robespierre and Camille, go look up the French Revolution if you want to know these people. Okay, but essentially that's what's happening. And then he says all that. She's like, okay, is that it? That's all the news? He's like, yes, that's all the news. She's like, oh, okay, well, let me tell you about my salon. He's like, okay, well, what? She goes, I want to invite commoners. And she goes thinking, she enters this thinking that they're going to be excited. At least Bastien would be. I don't know why she thought that, but he's not. He's like, are you sure you want to do this? She's like, yes, I want to do this. Like, no, are you sure? I'm sure you really. But here's the thing, y'all. Okay, hold on, let me get situated. So he says, have you considered your safety? Like, you're gonna let these people in, you don't know who they are. Have you considered your safety? And she's like, I thought the only threat against us was from the rogue noblemen who are plotting a revolt under our very noses, not the Avionian commoners who you've spent weeks assuring us they're content, happy even. And he goes, threats can take many forms, madame. It would not be prudent in times like these to invite them into your home. Is that a threat? Is that a threat? Like, are you, again, double-sided words. And she goes, he goes, oh, here he goes. She goes, he says, if you're willing to open the doors to the rich, or she says, if you're willing to open the doors to the rich, then you obviously got to open the doors to the poor. You need to be fair on both sides. And he says, I think I speak for the king and everyone here that you a little bit cray. Like, this ain't gonna work. So she says, and I speak for myself alone when I say you're wrong. Do you forget I am a commoner, that I grew up in a poor village with the very people you seek to malign? I Do not fear them in the same way I fear a rich man who believes justice is a fluid concept and that innocence can be bought. She let them sit with that, with what she said for a few moments before continuing. I called this meeting as a courtesy. This is how I envision the salon, and I believe it will be beneficial for all the people of our kingdom. You still get the prestige rising, economy boosting aspects. Only now the doors are open for everyone. If you cannot abide by that, then I suggest you remain in your estates for the duration. So let me sum that up. Belle's like, look, I'm a commoner, and I'm not scared of commoners. The only person I'm afraid of, and really not even afraid of, is looking out at is you. You're the one who's been shady this whole time. So if y'all don't like my little idea for the salon, take your butt home. That's what she said. That's what she said. That's my girl. That's my girl. That's my girl. And then our author says, she thought perhaps it was time for men like them to fear what a woman could do, because she took a vote and not a one of them. They didn't even try to murmur anything. You know, they're like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You're going to be like that, Belle. That's fine. We got you. You know, I'm like, yes, girl. So anyway, I love it. I love it. And then so everybody leaves, and of course Bastien stays back, and it's crazy because his whole point is, you know, this is going to be real messy. You know, this is very messy. And on a side note, okay, when you trap something in a trap, sometimes they like to mislead you in a direction, and I think that's what's happening. So Bastien calls to attention that Marguerite has been going into the village, and she's been talking to people, and she's been telling people that, yeah, she knows Belle, she stays in the castle, right? Belle's like, yeah, I know this. Like, we're friends, we got this. And he's like, do you want me to deal with her because she's messy? And Belle's like, oh, what you mean she messy? She not messy. And he goes, Belle goes like, I met her at your place. So if you talking about messy, what was you doing with her? And he's like, I had nothing to do with her. You know, he says that she essentially, he's throwing all her business out there, saying that she has temper tantrums and she causes fights, arguments, or so forth when she doesn't get her way and all that, like saying all this crazy stuff about her. And Belle's like, look, whether that's true or not ain't none of my business, but I'm gonna need you to leave my friend alone. He's like, I can deal with her. And she's like, no, I can deal with my own people and I can make my own decisions. It's you that I'm not too sure about. You know, I'm just, y'all. And so I'm telling you, and we left it at that. That's where chapter 20 leaves off, right? And it says, if Belle is sure of anything, it is that Marguerite de la Bancour, whatever, would not lie to her. The same could not be said for Bastien, Duke of Venice. Y'all know my French ain't that good. Don't laugh. Who had his own agenda in the castle. If anyone was not to be trusted, it was him. I'm gonna have to believe that, because here's the thing. Belle's gut instinct is telling her that Marguerite's a good person, right? So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's our installment for today, guys. I'm so glad that you joined me. I really appreciate it. You taking the time. It really does mean a lot for me. I also want to let you know that on Instagram, you guys will get to vote of one of 4 books that I'm going to be reading next. So I'll put a picture of the books up somewhere over here to let you know what I'm interested in probably reading next, and I'll let you guys get a chance to choose. So you can comment down below, or you can head over to my Instagram at Read.Pray.Disney, Read.Pray.Disney, and vote there, okay? Either way, I love to hear from you guys. And with that, have a magical day. Be blessed. Be amazing. I know I'm praying for you. Bye, guys.